Hi guys, welcome along to the channel. I'm Alan, the owner of evansguide.net and the producer of these videos on this particular channel. Today I want to talk about the Dachau concentration camp memorial site and the tour that I do over there. You know, most of the videos that I make are to do with day trips in Munich, how to use the transportation system, etc. But off the back of that I do get questions about my tours, and particularly the Dachau memorial tour. People asking how it works, should I do it, etc. So I thought I'd drop this just in order to give people a little bit of a better understanding of how it all works. I've been a licensed guide over at the memorial for 20 years now. So I started in April 2006. We're now in April 2026 as I make this now. And I've literally brought thousands of people through the memorial. And that's my goal on the tour, is to give as informative a tour as possible so that people come away from the site with a very good understanding, not just of Dachau, but of the concentration camp system as a whole. Primarily, Dachau is a place of remembrance for the estimated 41,500 people that perished there, and also, of course, for the survivors, who quite often went on had to have lives of sufferance because of what they'd suffered both physically and psychologically within the camp, not just Dachau, within the camp system as well. Many of the survivors went through a number of different camps during their time in the concentration camp system. But on the tour as well, I like to give people something to meditate on in terms of looking at different aspects of what the camp was all about. You know, we focus on the victims, but there's also attention paid to the perpetrators of the crimes, the Totenkopfverband, or the Death's Head division of the SS that ran the concentration camps. What manner of man was it that was willing to undertake such atrocities on their fellow human beings? And that's one of the aspects that fascinates me now after all these years of having done these tours, is the malleability of the human condition, and how it seems that ordinary people, family people, can find themselves in a situation where they're carrying out nefarious acts on their fellow human beings and somehow reconciling themselves with what they're doing. Also, looking from the perspective of what it would have been like to have been an ordinary German citizen between 1933 and 45. It's very easy today to be judgmental in terms of what should and shouldn't have been done at that time, and what actions the population should and shouldn't have done. But I find it's very important to try and understand as well the psychology of an ordinary German citizen at that time, and how the masses can be sucked into going along with a regime that's carrying out things that, you know, we now know to be very nefarious. So we look at things from different contexts and from different perspectives. Questions are encouraged on the tour as well. So although I give as much information as I can during the time that we're together, I encourage questions. We have some really great discussions on the tours. It's great when people are open. I mean, you can probably imagine in the world that we're living in today, when we're talking about a subject, such an emotive subject, the topic of politics and so forth comes up, and obviously on the tour we have people with different political opinions. As long as people are respectful of other people's opinions and are willing to have discourse and show respect throughout, then that's encouraged, because I think it's very important that the topic is talked about, so that people, when they're interacting in that way, can start to look at things from different angles and different perspectives. And I think it gives people a more holistic understanding of what was going on, when sometimes, you know, somebody else's view of things can make you look at things from a different angle yourself as well. So yeah, we have some really great discussions on the tours. The way that it works in terms of the practicalities, I mean, we meet at Marienplatz in the morning at well, the group gathers at 8:50 for a 9 o'clock departure on the S2 train from Marienplatz. We meet outside the tourist information on the square, and then we take the 20-minute ride to Dachau. I sort the tickets out before the tour so people don't have to worry about that. And yeah, it's only 16 kilometres northwest of central Munich, so it's not a huge journey to get over there. On arrival at Dachau station, we then have a 726 bus to the memorial. It's about 10 minutes, and the bus route follows pretty much the route that the prisoners would have taken into the camp, especially in the early days when they were marched by foot through the town, as a way of permeating fear through the community and also humiliating the victims that were taken there. So before we even arrive at the site, we have that connection with the victims that were taken to the camp. When we arrive at the memorial, my first port of call for the group is a visit to the visitor centre so that people can utilise the washrooms and also the cafeteria there if people need a bottle of water for their bag or whatever. And then we spend definitively about 3 hours on the actual memorial site itself. That's my challenge as a licensed guide, is to do the place justice, obviously in the limited amount of time that we're over there. 2 hours of me escorting the group around the site, giving as much information as I can, but I also work it in so that people get about an hour in the museum to back up everything that we're looking at. After the museum, we reconvene back at the bus stop and make the journey back to Munich with the idea of arriving back at Marienplatz between 2 and 2:30, something like that, as long as everything's running on schedule. So that's how it works, guys. You know, I thoroughly recommend, even if you don't come with me, if you go independently or you choose to go with another company with a licensed guide, that's great, as long as people are getting over there and informing themselves about what happened. And if you're interested in doing my particular tour, which is a guaranteed group size of a maximum of 15, that's what differentiates me, is I keep my groups as small as possible with a guarantee of that. You can check out my offerings at evansguide.net. You can see it at the bottom of the screen there, and it would be wonderful to have you along if you decide to do the tour. So thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in Munich. Take care and all the best.